Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Sold Sign Real Estate Unplugged. Thanks for joining us for another episode. If this is your first time, welcome. We are your favorite hosts and realtors, Lauren
and Naya,
and we are ready to get into the story of the week. And this week, we're going to be talking about tariffs and how it affects the real estate market.
Yes. So I want to break down, what do tariffs have to do with home prices, mortgage rates, and even the rental market? And more importantly, what does it mean to you as a buyer, a seller, or investor? So as of March 12th, 2025, President Trump has implemented a 25% tariff on all steel and aluminum imports, eliminating previous exemptions. And so from his administration, they claim that the policy aims to bolster domestic production, but it has raised concerns because of the increased cost. So for industries that rely on these materials, including real estate construction, it's raising concerns for the cost, of course. So builders are experiencing higher costs for materials such as lumber, steel, aluminum. This then leads to higher home prices. And then so buyers feel that. This is causing potential delays in construction projects as well. And so really there is a broad impact of these new tariffs on the real estate market. Higher material costs can reduce housing affordability, and it can slow down new developments. I think, we've been talking a lot about new construction properties being an option for folks. And so this kind of, brings some concern to that population of the real estate market also. So I guess the number one thing right now with these tariffs is the increase in construction cost. So again, higher tariffs on imported materials like lumber, steel, aluminum, and even appliances drive up the cost of building homes. And so now that the cost to build the homes is more, then that'll be a higher home price for a buyer, making it more expensive for a buyer. And developers also may slow down their projects and their construction because they are adjusting to that price, waiting for buyers to buy what they've built. They probably are having to adjust timelines and plans and ordering of materials and all the things. But the reduction and slowdown of them building new construction homes also, I guess, reduces housing supply and maybe what was expected to hit the market. So really everything is like a domino effect. And so if there is slower home development, especially for people who are like straight, new construction, I'm all in, that can, increase the competition for new construction homes, which generally I feel like, not that new construction homes aren't competitive, but I feel like it's less competitive than the resale market for sure. Absolutely. And so that's like an interesting, I guess, new take on that they could face competition due to this. And the waiting game too, because that's already, that's a thing regardless. Right. Waiting for you bought the land, you took your picture with the sold sign, and you are waiting for construction to be done. And so for people who have already purchased, this can impact them as well. Because if you already bought it, you got it at your price. So hopefully good for you. But if you were starting to look, which you maybe thought would be the price, they could be adjusting them like in real time now. So it's a thing.
Then with interest rates are, because back during COVID, so in 2020, this was also an issue, but not necessarily with tariffs, but because there just wasn't a lot of
work
materials.
Happening.
A lot of work, and then it took builders a long time to get certain supplies when it came to building a house, right? Like whatever it was, it just took them a while. But during that time, rates were a lot lower. So buyers were okay waiting and it taking a little bit of time because they knew that they were getting a deal. But now it's like, okay, so now you're taking longer to get materials. Home prices are increasing. Rates are not necessarily decreasing as much as they were obviously back then. So it's, I mean, not like a lose-lose, but it's like, oh my God, like how can I win right now in this market?
Yes, that's tough. I will say though, I have seen the thing about new construction homes. I do believe that they generally they try to add some favorable pieces, or incentives, I should say, for people to buy. And so while you may now experience like a longer timeline or a higher price because of tariffs, maybe they have a better deal, or maybe, you know, they're still offering something helpful with closing cost, or if you use their lender, it might be lower, a lower interest rate. So
that's a good point. Yeah. They can still
I will say that they can be more flexible with like incentives in that regard. So hopefully there's, you know, some silver lining in like in that balance of home prices going up, materials and all those things, and maybe a longer timeline.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think twice about that. Yeah, that's actually a really great idea, because they do offer, it's hard to compete. Lenders have a hard time competing with new construction lenders and their rates. So they do offer quite a bit of incentives, just, you know, especially during this time. I'm sure that they will be offering a lot more. Just, you know, they have, again, like Naya said, longer wait times, and the prices of the homes increasing. That can definitely help.
Yeah, I guess in the large landscape of like mortgage rates, obviously high interest rates will make mortgages more expensive, and that reduces affordability for buyers. But some people think that because of the tariffs causing like economic uncertainty, that the Fed might lower rates.
Which they have a little bit.
Yeah, they have actually.
They have
in the last few weeks. They have. So, you know, on the flip side, maybe we will see interest rates continue to trickle down, and so that could be. I'm kind of like that could be a plus, but in remembering that prices of homes are rising,
right? So
I don't know that plus is the right words, but maybe just a balancing.
Maybe it'll balance it out.
It's just gonna be balanced out.
Raise home prices but decrease the
right. So you're still meeting in that middle. But hey,
it's like, all right,
trying to work here. Overall, what would you say are like some of the effects on home buyers and home sellers?
The sellers may benefit from the increase in home prices. So, you know, if you purchased, you know, a few years ago, and now may be a great time to sell, because again, the prices are increasing, the home prices are increasing, and instead of a buyer going to new construction where it could take them a long time, let's say that they're relocating for a job, that may be a great time for a seller to kind of step in and sell their home and get top dollar for it, for sure. The effects of a buyer is that they may get priced out, just depending if rates don't come down as quickly as they would like for it to happen, and they are in a competitive season.
Right.
They may get priced out. Again, home prices are higher. Interest rates aren't going down as low as they would need it to, just to be able to afford the house. And there's a lot of competition that may just unfortunately get them out of the game, and they may now need to go the new construction route. So that could be a benefit for the buyer getting new construction, but if you need something very quick and you don't have time to wait for new construction, then that may kind of take you out of your buying power for resale homes.
Yeah, that's such a good like point with the differentiation there between the two home types. So yeah, maybe it's worth shifting.
Yeah. Investors, like if you are looking to like do like a flip on a house, you got to really pay attention to your numbers. I mean, you got to really pay attention. And not only numbers at this point, because if you're going in doing a complete gut job in, like, let's say a good location, we were already helping you to decide what your house could sell for, depending on how much, right? Like how much you put into the house. Okay, this is your ARV, your after rehab value. This is how much that you could actually sell it for. But you got to figure out how much money you're going to put into it and how long is that going to take, because supplies are not coming as quickly as possible. They're going to be more expensive. So where you thought you were going to pay this amount for supplies, you going to pay a lot more, and now it may take you even more time to get it on the market, and now you're losing money because you got to sit on the market a little longer, because it's going to take you a little longer to actually finish the house. And you may be like, oh, well, I priced it perfectly where I started the renovation in January. I knew I would be done in a hot market in June, July, but come to find out supplies didn't come in. Now you're back in a horrible market in the end of October, where Halloween has now hit, and now you got Thanksgiving and Christmas, and the houses may sit on the market.
Yeah.
So you got to time that out, right? Just, for investors, and making sure that those numbers work when it comes to getting those supplies and materials that you need.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say, I guess for the rental market, of course, buyers are figuring out right now, do I continue on this buying journey?
Right.
Do I keep renting? But rental prices, I mean,
I heard they were insane.
They already are insane. And if more people have to shift back to renting, housing, period, whether it's a house, whether it's an apartment, no matter what you're renting, like the supply is still low.
Yeah.
And so rent is going to increase.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's something to think about if you're going to pay the price, Which one would you rather? Which one are you going to pay? We asked y'all this.
Dad, rental price, they're going to go crazy.
And then I guess for investors, like, it could be an opportunity. So for them to do more rentals and add more, add that supply, rent out the home instead of maybe selling it. They might choose to rent it, have a long-term tenant. So, that's I guess a window of opportunity for them.
That's true.
That could definitely be beneficial.
Yeah. That's a good point.
But yeah, I guess those are some things to think about with the tariffs.
Yeah, and how it affects the real estate market, and just things that you may not have thought about that we just wanted to kind of bring to light.
Some current events.
Some current events, right? That just, I'm sure you see it on the news, and you may be asking, like, well, how can this affect it? And you can dig deeper into it with either your lender or your realtor, but we just wanted to kind of bring it to light just so that you guys have some questions to ask and some opportunities to get out there and purchase or sell or invest, depending on which route you want to go. So I think that is pretty much it for this episode. Again, thank you guys so much for joining us. Please don't forget to follow, comment, like, subscribe. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can also listen to us and watch us on all podcast platforms, and you can follow us on TikTok and Instagram. So we look forward to seeing you next week.